What the heck is wrong with these kitchens? We're going to take a look at a number of examples because I want to show you what I see as a designer. There are certain things that really need to be considered when you're going to be either building or remodeling. Hi, welcome back. I'm Lisa Wood, interior designer in Asheville, North Carolina, and I am a living in place professional. I focus on wellness design, which takes in a lot of the science and the art to make a very creative and personalized space that will be a place that you can enjoy for years in all ages and stages of life. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so and click that bell so you can be notified each week of new content. Kitchens are something that is extremely important to me. It is the hardest working room in the house, as you all probably well know. We use it for many different things. Things like cooking, baking, studying, working, socializing, eating, and the list can go on. Entertaining. It can really run a lot of people through it and have a lot of work going on in there. And so it has got to be efficient. And in order to make it a really well-designed space, it takes a lot of thought, it takes a lot of creativity, and it takes a lot of communication in order to get the right plan in place. This is not something you want to just wing. You want to really have a plan to go about it. What I did is I found some examples to share with you to point out things that stood out to me and hopefully will start standing out to you, because awareness is key, right? That's how we get to make educated decisions. And when you are more aware of what to do and what not to do, you can take that knowledge and put it into the next plan that you plan on doing, or share it with a friend, even better. Let's get into seeing these kitchens, and I'm going to point out to you from my perspective as a living in place professional. And what we are all about is that we want to provide designs and solutions that are going to give you safe, comfortable, and healthy spaces. Those are the three key words that the Living in Place Institute is all about. And I want to point out to you what I see that's wrong with these certain kitchens. It's not to say that they didn't go to a lot of effort and put a lot of money into these, but I want to show you things that could have been better. Let's take a look. This first kitchen has a lot of beautiful elements to it. Most people are going to think, what the heck is wrong with this? Well, I want to share with you what I see. While it is a beautiful space to be in, what I see wrong here is the countertop. It is a glossy finish. That can cause big reflections, whether it's from overhead lighting, and you'll see the hot spots there in that picture, or it comes in from windows. And when you have reflection, it can distort your perception when you see it. So the better option is to go with a honed or a leather finish on the countertop. Number two, that microwave is way too high, way too high. I'm 5'2", my husband's 6 foot. I think we're both shrinking. We're pretty solid where we are. That is really high for me to open up. And if you're putting something in there to heat up, what if you pull it out and it actually tips and spills on you? That's not good. And kids can't reach that. If somebody's older and they're not stable on their feet, they can't reach it. If they happen to be in a wheelchair, they can't reach that. So you want to keep appliances between your knees and your nose. I've said this before on videos, but that is an ergonomic place that you can easily reach and get access to something. The third thing in this kitchen that I'm not a fan of are the pot fillers. Now, if you're a big cook and you're having big stock pots and you really use water in your cooking, a better way to do that is to do a deck mount on the side. So it's coming up from the counter and you can have a gooseneck faucet or maybe a spray faucet that can fill the pot. The reason why these pot fillers, although I think they're pretty cool and a lot of people love them, is that over time it is not meant to come out like that off the wall, and gravity can take a hold and it can kind of start giving way and you can have leak issues, and then it doesn't function as well. So it's just not the most ideal location. So consider doing a deck mount versus a wall mount. A lot of people love a white, crisp kitchen, and this is beautiful. It's got that transitional look. The hardware on the refrigerator and the oven, I mean, those are custom pieces. It looks beautiful. The one negative thing is that the countertops match the cabinets, so you visually don't have a division between the two. And again, with eyesight, as we get older or as we have eye issues, that can cause a problem. So it's good to have a contrasting countertop with the cabinet below it. This kitchen has a little bit more, it's still transitional. It's kind of got a traditional feel, maybe because of the granite. I can't tell which granite that is exactly. But again, I don't know if you see what I see, but it's a glossy granite. So again, go for honed finishes versus the gloss finishes. The second thing and the third thing that I see are those appliances. Again, the microwave is too high, and I believe that might be a warming drawer. I'm not sure. That's kind of low. So why not put it higher up right at the countertop level? That would be a lot easier to reach. Maybe they were trying to give it some symmetry with the cabinets, but honestly, if you're having to bend over to get something out of there from a warmth, that's been warming, it would be easier if it was a little bit higher. I mean, imagine if you had a bad back. It's not easy to bend. The third thing in this are the cabinet pulls for me. These cabinet pulls, I don't have a close up, but they have little ends that protrude, and you can get clothes caught on those and other things. So definitely have a C or D handle that returns back that you can't catch clothes on or something worse, because I've had it happen. This kitchen, I love the color of the cabinets. It's got a real warm, kind of moody feel to it. The crisp white with this kind of a peppercorn color paint. It's beautiful. What I don't like about it is the cooking area. It's got a great slide-in range, and that part's fantastic. But how are you gonna, what if you've got a heavy pot and it's loaded with food? How can you simply transfer it over to a counter? You're gonna have to back out of that nook and turn to get that pot someplace. There's really no space to put it. So that I don't like about it. The other thing I don't like is that sink. It has barely any space on either side to put dishes. I don't know if that's the only sink in this room because I can't tell, but if that was all I had to go by, which that's what I have right now, is you really don't have any optimum counter space. So always consider that. Think about where your appliances are in relation to your sink and your refrigerator. Get that perfect work triangle, but make sure you have adequate counter space. On another option, they could have not had those sidewalls come down around the hood and just have it floating up top to then have a little bit more counter space. That probably, for me, that would have been a safer option. Here's another pretty white kitchen. It's pretty, right? It's white. People love white. But I am glad to see that there's more colors coming back into kitchens with the stains and paints. Again, it's a white on white kitchen. There is some veining going through the countertop, which does help give it a little bit of notice that it is different than the cabinets, but it's still pretty much white on white. So again, try to have a contrast between the counter and the cabinets. And those pulls, stay away from those pulls. I know they're pretty. I know they're everywhere. I have them. I will never do them again. If you can imagine, picture yourself going up to get into the wall cabinet. The wall cabinets aren't so bad because they're higher, but when you've got them low, I have gone up on my toes and come back down and caught my shorts on them. And when I turn to walk away, I'm pulling the cabinet door with me. I've gotten my clothes caught on the handles. I've had earphones caught on the handles. And worst case, the worst incident was my nephew who got his tube, who he's a type 1 diabetic, got his tube caught on a handle and it ripped it out of his stomach. So you do not want those kind of handles. Always have a return going back to that cabinet or a C hook. So it's a D hook or a C hook, and one day I'll have some examples that we can look up. This room has a lot of punch. I mean, it is packed with that black. It's bold, right? It's bold. That floor is a bold floor. But the problem is when you have a high contrast floor, I know me, as my eyesight has been getting worse as I've gotten older, darn it. Sometimes when I see black, I think whole. If you have anyone that has visual issues with their eyes, they can actually think it's a hole and misstep and potentially fall. So try to avoid real high contrast flooring. I know it looks classic, but it's very busy. If you drop something like a pill or something small, you may not be able to find it. Just kind of think neutral. I think when you have that much real estate, it's good to go with neutrals that are going to be safe and functional. You can still get a lot of beauty. If you want a big bold statement, maybe put it up on the wall and not have it so much on the floor. I do like the cabinet pulls. I think it's probably all integrated into those drawers. Those are easy to pull in and push in and pull out. So I do like those, and it does give that some contrast. The floor to me is the biggest concern that I have. This little kitchen was actually refaced. I did a video on it last week about refacing or refinishing or replacing cabinetry. If you didn't watch it, you might want to go take a look at it. But this one, they actually went to the grand expense of refacing their cabinets by putting new doors on it. So it's not a cheap thing to do. There are a ton of issues with this kitchen. Now, I don't know the whole story here. Again, I'm just going by a picture, and they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think I might have 1,000. I'm just kidding. First problem, that sink and that dishwasher and that cooktop, that's a one-person show in there. There's nobody else going to be in there doing things together. You don't have space. And the sink overhangs that corner, so it comes up into the corner of where you're cooking. And the other thing is the light fixture above. If because they went with 3 lights over it, great, nice to have extra lighting. You open up that cabinet door, I think they're going to hit it. Again, that hardware, not good. The worst. Stay away. Go for a return on your hardware. And the cooktop, again, too close to the sink. You don't have enough countertop space. It is an induction cooktop, it looks like. So it kind of gives you, when you're not using it, it is kind of like having extra counter space. But you can't have 2 people at that sink and that cooktop at the same time. There's just no way. And the fifth thing that I saw in here is that outlet over by the coffee maker. If you overload an outlet, it can be too much. So try to keep an outlet to 2 plugs per outlet, if any. If you have the chance, you can try to elevate those so they're underneath the cabinet, and then there's this really cool strip that you can have and hide so you don't have outlets cut into the back of your backsplash, which just kind of makes it cleaner. I would hope there was more space to this kitchen. If there wasn't, I would have tried to find a new way to lay this out, because those are a lot of red flags to me, or arrows. I would love to know if anybody could see what I see in this kitchen. Okay, I'm going to tell you. To me, overall, it's fantastic. It's very modern. I love the wood coming in, how it's on the floor, and they wrap the island with it. The cabinetry up above, very custom. It's very cohesive. But look at that table that extends off the island. And look, it's really minor, but look at the stools that they put with there. I You can't sit there. You can't get your knees up underneath it. You got to think about everything. Everything in terms of height, dimension, ergonomics, all that. So probably right there, if you put 2 chairs, then that would work much better than a counter stool, because it's just way too high. That doesn't work. And the backsplash, I can't tell if that's a gloss. It looks like it's got some reflection. That might be a consideration. Again, it just really depends on the people who are going to be living there. But overall, I think it's a beautiful space. I like the contrast with the counter. See that? There's a good contrast between the counter and the cabinet, so you know where that edge is when you go to put something down. This last example is, I saw it and I thought, oh, that's scary. I just see the writing on the wall. Again, obviously the microwave is a little too high, and that little boy decided he needed to climb up on the countertop to get access to it. Look at how that door opens, and if he goes to step back, it's not going to be pretty. Not good at all. So close to the edge of that countertop. If you have children, consider putting the microwave, again, between your knees and your nose, height-wise, or you can put it directly underneath the countertop. Don't put it too low. Put it underneath the countertop. You don't have to do a built-in. You can simply have like a cubby and slide it in. You will want to have electrical in the back. That would be a much safer place to put it. When my kids were little, my son wanted to use the microwave all the time. He would make crazy concoctions with his Halloween candy and melt chocolate with all sorts of gross stuff. And he was so proud when he got done. But the microwave is above our cooktop, which I'll never do again. So I've learned my lesson and I'm just going to pass that on to you. Think about that. Think through the ergonomics of how you want your kitchen to function. Again, it's the hardest working room in your house and you want it to be safe. There are a ton of accidents that can occur in the kitchen, and if you can minimize those, all the better. So, thoughtful planning, work with a professional team that knows how to help you, the creative minds that can come together and really think about what you love about your current kitchen, what you don't love about your current kitchen, and what you wish you had for your next one. That alone will help you think through and create the right plan. And it's not just about stuff. Remember, it's how you want to function in that space. What are you going to use it for? So it goes a lot deeper. If you've got any questions on this, please comment below and we will get those answered. And if you have not liked and subscribed yet, click that bell and we will be able to notify you the next week with our new content. But we so look forward to hearing from you. Are you doing a kitchen remodel this year? I would love to know. I'm working on several for clients and I have coming across some really inspirational ideas. I would love to connect and see what you're learning, or if you have any questions, please put them below and I will be happy to get them answered. I hope that your project goes smoothly, and if you're looking to remodel this year, it is a good time, but be patient because everything's on back order still. Just give yourself a lot of time and get the right budget, get the right team in place, and you will create a beautiful space. That I know. Until next week, you guys take care.